what would maybe one of the most important pieces of advice that you think you could give to somebody that's either just starting the adoption process or just displaced, to help them to work through the whole process?
There's never a stupid question. There's never a stupid question. Ask as many questions as much as you need to, as much as you feel the need to, no matter how stupid you may feel or uncomfortable you may feel. Ask and research. Educate yourself as much as possible, because there's endless amount of information out there now. There's no real excuse to say I didn't know, because really there's so much out there, And if you don't ask, how are you going to know about other, foundations that are out there or support groups that are out there? And, whether there's a social worker, whether they do it through an agency or whether they do it independently, ask. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask. Never be afraid. This is your choice. This is your child. You have that right. Yeah. That'd be my advice.
Yeah. That kind of says it perfectly, is to educate yourself. And I would also, like she said, come into contact with as many people as you can. Yeah. Surround yourself with positive energy, whether they have a bad situation or not, whether the story ended harshly or it's good, you can know, so that you know what there is, and do what you feel is best for you. You can't make this decision alone, based on anyone else. Like, you can have the input of others, but ultimately it's got to be your choice, so that you're doing what is right for you, because if you don't, you're going to regret it. Yeah. And I think going further, even after that, if you decide to go and be an advocate, be prepared for the onslaught of negativity and all the things that come on with it, but know that you're going to make a difference for somebody, and it's okay, because there's negative to everything. So
I found that with the experience I've had so far, even the women who've been doing it for long periods of time, when they decide to pull back, a lot of women are like, oh, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And I felt really bad for a few of these women, and I'd say, because when they first told me, I'm like, you know what? Good for you. Mm-hmm. I think you have to take that time and say, I'm going through a different process in my life. The grieving never ends. Mm-hmm. That cycle never ends. And something in your life may trigger something where you just have to step back, and you don't want to hear another word about adoption. Yeah. You don't want to deal with the birth mother title. Yeah. You don't want to hear another word. Yeah. And you have that right to step back and go, oh, gag, I'm done. I need a break. Because there's that respect that I think every birth mother, I'm hoping every birth mother knows. That's a constant grieving process, and certain things in your life are going to trigger certain things. Hence,
and that's true with anybody, really. Anything that any big thing that you may have. There's advocates in all kinds of different.
Exactly.
Somebody who lost their child may become a big advocate of right. Parents who lose their children, and they may sometimes feel like they need to pull back, or that they need to do more, or whatever. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you don't appreciate what happened, or you regret what happened, or anything like that.
You're not against it. It's just I need a break.
You need a break.
Or sometimes you're just done, and it's time to hand the reins over to somebody else. I mean, I know of two organizations right now that one is completely, as far as I've been aware of, that is completely shutting down. Mm-hmm. And another one that has just decided to hand the reins down to somebody else. It's their time to do something else. And I think that's great. It's like you said, take the time for yourself. Nothing's wrong if it's what's right for you. Mm-hmm.
I would say my advice, I would have a lot of advice, because I'm so smart. But
you keep telling yourself that.
But I would say just being open and honest, and I think that comes along with asking lots of questions and those kind of things. Just be open and honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. Be open and honest with others, and then the other thing would be just be happy. Mm-hmm. One of my friends, when she found out she was pregnant, she got into the whole shame and all that stuff, and she just said, no, I'm going to be happy that I'm pregnant. I'm going to be happy that I'm a birth mom. I'm going to be happy that I'm whatever else besides a birth mom or a birth dad or whatever. The focus on all these other things.
Yeah.
And even though you might be going through something hard, especially when you're going through the adoption process, continue to go to school, continue to go to church.
Well, and the more you do, like you said, if you continue to do it, the easier it's going to be to transition. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to be different. Like after placement, you're not the same person, but it's going to be an easier transition to go back to what you were doing as far as, like you said, school and sports and all these things, because it won't have stopped. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't stop going to school for 9 months, or I didn't stop, working, or I don't know, doing anything. I didn't stop having a life. And so when you move forward from that, it's easier to transition back into it and have that title be a part of it.
And not to contradict, but unless you need to stop doing something.
I know, exactly. Unless you need to stop.
Like,
but even then, it's still a part. Like for those women who are stepping away, it's like, I'm just not going to be in the limelight of it. I'm going to still have it be my story over here, but it's just going to be separate from this, and that's okay.
I had a friend who actually wheeled me into school. Took a wheelchair and wheeled me in the last 2 months. They said, you stay in bed as long as you're sitting. I'm like, all right, well, I can get around that one. Because it was just, you have too much time and you start thinking of the negative, and you spend too much time of beating yourself up. And so when you're engaged with people, that keeps you from going down that spiral of drowning. I call it drowning. Yeah. And you're going to drown at some point, and you're going to be doing it up and down and bobbing up and down. Mm-hmm. You need that support, and you need to talk to other people. So when you feel like you're getting down that far, they can throw you that rope and help you kind of come back up.